The third season of the DP World ILT20 is just a few days away, and we are joined by the batting coach of the Gulf Giants, Grant Flower. Grant, thank you very much for speaking to WION. How are things shaping up for the new season?
Okay, thanks. We've had some good practices. We've had two warm-up matches. Won one, lost one today, unfortunately, against the Vipers. But we've got an exciting squad. There's a lot of talent. Some of the players have played before. There's some new ones. Most of the coaching staff is the same, so everyone's knows each other very well. And yeah, everyone's super excited, and we hope it's going to be another good tournament for the Giants.
There was a warm-up game today, of course. How did that turn out?
Well, the Vipers won. We had a bit of a collapse in our batting, unfortunately, against their leg spinner. But we still don't have our full squad here. Some guys are still coming over from the Big Bash. James Vince and Tim David and Tom Curran. But everyone's shaping up nicely. The guys are confident. They've played a hell of a lot of cricket. And our UAE guys they're working well together. And so we got our first game in a few days' time, and against Sharjah Warriors, and everyone's up for it.
You know, as you mentioned, in the UAE, there is a lot of cricket being played, not just franchise cricket, but also international cricket. In terms of the conditions, what are the unique challenges that playing in Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, and Dubai offers to the players?
Yeah, they're all a bit different. Sharjah is always a bit skiddier, flatter, especially under lights. It goes on a bit. There's quite a bit of dew around. Abu Dhabi seems, especially at night, swings around a bit more than most places. But it's usually a good batting deck there, maybe a bit slow. And Dubai, depending on whether there's dew or not, but it's usually a bit more bouncy. All right, especially at the start of the tournament. Then later in the tournament, the tracks get used a bit. They start to turn a bit more and keep a bit low. So they're all a bit different, but they're all great venues in their own right.
You know, cricket when you were playing and how things are now are just vastly different. But what would you say is the most different things that has changed? What has changed the most in terms of the way cricket is played back when you were playing and how things are now?
Well, for one, there's a lot more cricket. And obviously, there's back in our day, we didn't have international T20. So that's huge. The game's got quicker. It's probably more exciting. There's more intent to hit the ball. So coaching methods have changed. And there's the new franchise tournaments all over the world. So Test cricket, it's having a battle against T20. But I think there's always a place for Test cricket. There have been some great series recently. So I don't think that's going away anytime soon. But it's exciting times. And but this is definitely one of the big tournaments in franchise world. And there are a lot of good squads here. Everyone's got a good squad. So it should be a great tournament.
Okay, before I let you go, I have to ask you about the burning topic in Indian cricket, at least, and that is the future of Rohit Sharma. You know, everyone seems to have an opinion on it. He has been a great player of India, but there have been calls for him to retire. What is your take in terms of his future in the Indian team?
Look, I'm not in the dressing room. I'm not in the Indian dressing room. He's still a fine player. He's had a tough tour, but I mean, even Virat, one of the best, has had a tough tour. So it can happen to great players. I've read an interview. He still wants to play, and so he made himself unavailable for the last test, and he thought he wasn't hitting it well enough, which is fair enough. But I think he's still good enough to play Test cricket. And so even the greats, they go through bad runs with the bat, and that can happen against very good attack like Australia in home conditions. And they had a very good team. So I think there's still a future for Rohit, and he's a fine player and still is.
Well, thank you very much for speaking to WION and Grant. All the very best for the third season.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.